2016 was the last year of normalcy for this small Wisconsin border town just below Milwaukee. It all began in 2017 when over 100 families were notified all at once that they had to begin packing their bags to leave for good. New neighborhoods being built were stopped in their tracks mid-move and abandoned. Entire streets of generations-long family farms were soon cut off from power and boarded up. Some businesses were roadblocked overnight with money still in the registers, and if the owners came back to save their possessions, they were threatened with arrest. But this was just the beginning. It never stopped. You're about to hear the story of corruption on the government level, Bill Gates buying farms, and the abandonment of hundreds of homes. In 2017, shockwaves were sent through Wisconsin, the United States, and even the world.
Foxconn.
The town of Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin had announced a massive multi-billion-dollar manufacturing complex that would be known as the Foxconn Technology Park. It sparked both excitement and controversy. On one hand, over 13,000 jobs would be created, but on the other, hundreds of people, many of them families, would be displaced. Most people, however, were mainly on board. The promise of economic growth on such a large scale gave hope for a better America and hope for a small town. But that hope would soon start to fade. Anger, sadness, and questions unanswered would soon take its place. On May 15th, 2017, the Meyer family moved into their own custom-built 38,000 square foot home in the new Prairie View subdivision, consisting of 13 homes. A month after moving in, Sean Meyer had just finished moving 36 pallets of bricks to his home when Foxconn announced they'd be building over his land. The residents of homes were given a choice: sell us your home for what we think is fair, or we will take it by eminent domain. Eminent domain allows the city to forcibly buy your property as long as it's either deteriorated, aka blighted, or in the path of a planned roadway or government project. Maps would be shown to residents of a road going through their home, thus making it legal to buy them out, only for the planned road, in some cases, to disappear or to become not as large as intended. One homeowner even reported that road widening plans were already scrapped 2 months before their home was bought. In other words, plans only changed when the village wanted to buy a home. Another property, which is or was owned by Jack and Colleen Erickson for their trucking business, was forcibly landlocked after the property was cut in half by a new road. The city offered them, quote, pennies on the dollar while they were still in operation, but the Ericksons refused. One day, $1.6 million were given to the Ericksons for their truck shop without their consent, and their property was declared blighted and unsafe. One night, concrete barriers were put over the driveways of the facility, putting business to a halt overnight, with everything still inside. Mr. Erickson attempted to go onto the property to retrieve his valued items when he was detained by police for trespassing on his own property. Since that day, the property remains frozen in time, stuck in legal limbo. Back at the Prairie View subdivision, the newly built homes began to be bought up by the village. One by one, they were demolished until there sat one last home. The Mahoney family didn't budge, citing low offers from the cities for years. But finally, in 2022, the home was picked up and moved elsewhere after an undisclosed agreement. The family hoped to save the newly built home rather than having it end up in a landfill. By that time, very few families were still in the fight. Only about 3 properties remained: a ranch, which recently sold, Erickson's Truck and Parts, and the last farm, known as the Land of the Giants, owned by the Cruisinger family. They were one of the only families to file a successful lawsuit against the city's use of eminent domain. And this is where Bill Gates comes into the picture. It was at this time I began to seriously begin researching what happened here. In 2022, I unknowingly filmed the last home of the main buyout.
This one's actually a pretty beautiful and well-kept home. See all the spray paint? This was by the construction workers here. Well, it's a small house. Other than the demo crew smashing stuff up and borrowing some stuff, taking some stuff, they kept this house in pretty good shape.
The owner ran a motorcycle business, which was still listed as his address. He didn't want to comment when I called the number. By next year, only the Cruisinger farm was standing, and alongside it, the abandoned Erickson property. By next year, the last farm was abandoned too. But the thing was, these guys beat the case of eminent domain in court. Why did they leave if they won? In order to understand this, let's look at another tragedy: Foxconn itself. Foxconn, a Taiwanese flat screen manufacturer, planned a $10 billion investment in Wisconsin on January 22, 2017. 13,000 jobs were promised, and a factory on an unimaginable scale was announced. It was so large that the president himself came down to present this achievement. But in 2018, only a small factory was built. Still, a promise was made, and land started getting grabbed left and right. In 2019, Foxconn scales back again, and the public begins to doubt the promise, yet work continues. Most farms get bulldozed. Most properties, even today, would remain as empty lots. In 2020, a new building was finally built on the site, but instead of screens, they shipped out 100,000 masks during COVID. This was the only one successful idea of many other failures. An electric vehicle plant, fish farms, exporting ice cream, or storing boats were just a few of the ideas that were proposed. But the factories remained mostly empty, and in 2023, some were even put up for sale. But even with empty factories, promises still remained. But by that time, nobody but public officials believed in the project. In 2024, Microsoft decided to take over a chunk of the Foxconn land, still largely empty, with plans to build a data center. Still, not many jobs would be created, but it was something. This is where the Cruisinger farm comes in. After fighting tooth and nail against the eminent domain and low prices for their land, about 400 acres and a farm built in the 2000s, they were finally left alone. But that is until the Microsoft announcement. The last family got the best deal of them all, $76 million for their family farm. After broken promise and broken promise, the final farm left, albeit under different circumstances than the rest. They quickly got up and left, leaving behind a world of turmoil that plagued these farmlands for years. And this begins our first explore of one of the many properties over the years here. But the saddest part of it all, hundreds of homes were demolished, and yet today very few of this land was ever actually put to use. Essentially, these homes were demolished for nothing. People were displaced for nothing. But this is only the beginning of the story. Fast forward to today, everything you see here is long gone. What was once Foxconn's failure was now Microsoft's opportunity. While warehousing slowed, a different industrialization was coming because of artificial intelligence. Data centers used to document, assist, and store every question you ask. Foxconn today was nothing compared to what was to come. The following years, I saw not only Foxconn's land being built up, but other entire streets being swallowed up for Microsoft's data centers. And as I investigated, even more were coming as I planned to upload this video. I filmed this home and planned to post it when another street got purchased by Microsoft. As I added more houses to this documentary, I found more streets once I was finished. The story here kept adding onto itself until I was knees deep into a documentary that would never end. But let's go back in time to see how it all actually began. Here it is. I have been waiting for this moment for over a year now, and it's finally happened. Here is the Microsoft mansion. Right over here, you could see they had this beautiful pond, and all the homes here have been gone for at least 3 years now. So all this hundreds of acres was just this farm here, just this home. Everybody else was long gone. You can see in the background the foreshadowing for what's to come. All this land here was essentially supposed to be that. Right there is Foxconn, the giant sphere, and they're going to connect to Microsoft's building, and that's going to go all throughout here. It's essentially a giant data center, and this right here is the last plot of land to go. And quite frankly, it's a beautiful home. Let's see what we can find. I mean, it's such a scenic location out here. Nobody around. They did start building a major road right here, which is why they demolished most of the farms here. But these people decided to stay and grow their crops, and they made it work. They got $76 million for this home. And it's actually kind of a large home. I would call this a mansion. I mean, I think it's a pretty large home. You can see they've started removing items here. I might be a little bit late. Well, they tried and failed. Look
Look at that. They destroyed that expensive sink that was inside the home. But just to get a feel of what was in here, look at the size of this sink. Or I guess I should say countertop. It's not easy, but that's how we're getting in. So here you have it, folks. The home I've been trying to film for over a year. Now, as you can see, looks like it's starting to get cleared out here. I'm not sure when it went abandoned or how intact it was when it went abandoned. But it's been like this for at least a month, because every month I drive by here to check on it. And it's finally gone abandoned. The basement's probably not even flooded yet. But look right here, guys. This very big room. It's a shame they boarded it up because you can't really see the sun coming in too much. But what a large room, guys. With a beautiful chimney made of stone. And actually, I think there's an overlook, so we'll go check that out soon. And it was all just farmland all around here. So it would have been real nice. Imagine just hanging by the fire. It would have been couches probably. Looks like I can kind of see the outlines of some couches or something. So they've removed a lot of stuff. It looks like there was a door here. That's no longer here. And we have this room right here. It's all painted orange, as you can see. There are actually a couple pieces of furniture left behind, as you can see. Relatively new, guys. It's a shame to see such a new house go. So right here would have been the front door, so that's been removed. But right as you walk in, I mean, you would have, would have been your view. And actually the basement's here. Let's hope it's not flooded. Oh, there's just enough water to walk through here. Probably went abandoned 2 weeks ago maybe. That's just about it, because soon the water is going to flood all the way to the top here. You can see right here though, they had a awesome bar down here, and there's still a clock on the wall. Oh cool, this is solid. That just barely doesn't go into my shoe. But yeah, there's a couple things here and there, as you can see. So, I mean, there would have been a lot of furniture down here. This was actually that large sink outside, it appears, that they have since removed. Shame how empty this is now. I'm really sad about that. I'm so glad I got here today, because yeah, it's getting bad. There's that clock here though. It says Dad's Pub, and that's the time it stopped. So I wonder if it was connected to the home or not. I wonder how long this has been sitting too, because there's mosquitoes all over, but no mold has developed, so this must have been abandoned pretty recently. Pipe room, nothing too interesting here. But as you'll notice, there are other stairs going back up. Look at all the mosquitoes coming down here, guys. So there's gonna be a lot of mosquitoes in this house very soon. Actually, if you look right here, they attempted to remove a piece of furniture here, but failed. And if I could just squeeze through here, we could see the bathroom. Still has soap left behind. But, I mean, whoever lived here took everything. And I'm surprised because they got so much money for their house. But yeah, you can kind of imagine what went on here. I mean, there's family gatherings here. I mean, pretty cozy little home, family farm here. They had 2 floors of fireplace too. Would have been nice to hang out here. I'm sure there were kids that lived here. Let's head back upstairs. Actually, my shoes did get a little bit wet, but it is what it is, right? So we are back on the main floor, guys, and look at this, guys. This is what's left of the kitchen. Almost nothing besides a dishwasher. They took everything out. Maybe that's why they were taking so long. They were just selling off every little bit and piece of this whole house. Actually, if you look here where my hand's resting, the railing is gone. I don't know how you could have the time to sell this stuff in like 5 months. I mean, maybe you could, but I certainly would think it'd be pretty difficult. What is this, an AC unit? Oh, it's a microwave? They had that plugged in. Maybe that was for when they were removing stuff, the construction workers, I don't know. They had that plugged in, but actually look, that's like a new microwave. That's a nice one. Oh guys, here we go. The 3-car garage. So, okay. Whoa, this was a big garage.
Look, it goes all the way back here. Clearly. Nothing works anymore. The one way I know that the power's out is the basement's flooded. So there is no power anymore. So they took all their beds. There's a door they never sold. And just a chair with a little bird feeder. And right here, they use this to heat the garage. So they had this here to heat their whole garage because it was so large. They had like a whole fleet of trucks, like 3 to 6 trucks outside here, guys. And they even had like a military truck, which makes me think, you see how long this is? They might have stored their military truck here. I know they kept it in the back of the house. They were kind of hiding it from the public, but you could see a little bit from the road. So yeah, I mean, maybe they put a military vehicle in here. There's some big tracks here, so it's possible. Then again, they had a farm. Who knows what they really put in here? But I do know they had a lot of trucks. For such a big garage, it makes sense. But we haven't even gone upstairs, guys, so I'm pretty excited to see that. This would have been pretty spacious, though. I really do like the setup. It's pretty cozy. So here's kind of the overlook here, guys. So yeah, you could get like a whole view of everything down here. Even in McMansions, I really like this kind of railing that overlooks the bottom here. I think it's really cool. This is pretty similar to a house I explored in another buyout a couple years ago. It's just they had to go. Their time was up. And here's one of the rooms now. Now the sunlight's kind of pouring into this house here. So you can really get a feel for what exactly these people saw every day. This was likely one of the kids' bedrooms or a bedroom. I don't think it's the main master bedroom here, but yeah, these were their views every day. Now before this road got expanded here, it was even smaller. It was 2 lanes here. Now it's been built for truck traffic. So basically their driveway was really long, so they just sold a part of their driveway and kept the rest of their property for a couple of years. You could see all the warehouses in the background. It's really sad. Once these started coming up, I think these people knew the clock was ticking for them. Looks really cool with the overgrown grass, mind you. On to the next couple parts of the house here. It looks like this was actually the laundry here by the looks of it. Oh man. So here's the one room. Oh, they left the bed behind. As you can see, guys, this is a real view right here. I wonder if I can open this up. It's so quiet too. There's a little bit of the ambience of the highway, but otherwise it's pretty quiet, I gotta say. Just listen for a second. Listen to the birds and everything, all the nature. All this stuff will be gone soon. These birds, all this nature, it'll never be heard again. It'll be all industrial here. Well, folks, ain't that something? The view I'm getting, totally incredible. It's just so sad to see stuff like this, and it happens all the time. It happened here over the course of like 5 years, and I missed most of it. This is probably the last piece of land that'll go. Maybe the second last piece of land to go. There might be another place we'll check out a little bit later, but this is sad. I watched this place for so long. I watched, everything was fine. I even talked to the people here. You know what they said? They said no comment. So they were under some kind of non-disclosure agreement or something. I watched these people live a normal life, and then they were gone, just like that. One day I just came by here, the whole house is boarded up, and that was the end. Sorry, to me it's just shocking how such a new home could be abandoned like this. All this nature is gonna be gone. Farmland. I can't believe this. Anyways, guys, here's the barn. That's all boarded. I remember coming down here last month and all the windows were finally gone, but people still lived here. This barn here, they had like pumpkins. They ran like a big business out of here. They even had a corn maze here during like around Halloween. That's why they had this military truck. They drove kids through the corn and everything. This was called Land of the Giants, and the place mark was right on this barn. So they had a decent business coming out of this place. They obviously sold pumpkins and other things that they grew here. Corn probably too. But that's their barn. It's new looking too, so they definitely put this barn here semi-recently. And here's the house now, all overgrown. It got bad pretty fast, guys. So now that, it was kind of stupid for them to put boards up here because
It's very easy to tell that this home is now abandoned, but you can see they had a very large tree here. Really gives this property character, I think. Just the whole setup. They had trees going up to the home too. Now, when I said there might be two properties, this is the second one I was talking about. Erickson Truck and Parts, with giant roadblocks in the front, signaling that these may never be moved again and the property is completely abandoned. Now, I have never been in here either, but I believe everything is left behind. As you can see, there's so many trucks left behind. So join me as we check out this other part that I kind of overlooked. And as I'm about to accidentally find out, everything is left behind.
So they just totally lied to us straight up. And pretty soon the cops came, then they got out, and then they said we had to leave. So they pretty much escorted us off the property, and then took the payloader, put these big cement berms in front, said we couldn't go on it anymore. Then we were kicked out.
This was the very last holdout of Foxconn. The owner had his land stolen from him while he was in the middle of business. It had been abandoned since 2020, frozen in the middle of the day.
Well, that was relatively easy. Anyways, I already see a ton of wasps. Guys, this is kind of interesting. I've never ever been back here, and I already see lots of abandoned vehicles and parts for it. Damn, the lighting is so bad here because it's sunset. So we're gonna go towards the front in the evening. Anyways, I think that's better for us. But look at this, guys. This one's, I mean, look, they got abandoned semis here. And oh my gosh, there's an abandoned fire truck. Okay, we gotta see that. Oh my gosh, an abandoned fire truck here. This land's gonna get demoed, and there's a vintage fire truck. But why in the world is there a fire truck left abandoned here? So it says Whiting on the front of this fire truck, so I wonder if this is for a town called Whiting. Oh my gosh, a fire truck. Whoa.
You're gonna cry when I tell you what happened to this place. This truck actually ran when parked.
Maybe Whiting, Illinois? I think that's a town. I can't believe I see an abandoned fire truck just sitting here. It's beautiful. This needs to be saved. It's actually like, I think it's pink, or it's actually been faded so much that it appears pink. And here we have a bunch of barrel gas things here for trucks. Yeah, guys, I can't believe it. I'm deathly afraid of wasps, but I wonder if it'll open. And there's hopefully, oh, it's actually locked. This is a legit fire truck though. Pretty sure. Oh my gosh.
When exploring, I get excited about expensive things, but what I often overlook is that usually a tragedy is involved. Months later, I returned to appraise these items, to future contact the owner. Everything here was still the same, frozen in time. But 2 months after that, I returned again for B-roll, and I was heartbroken. Everything was vandalized, not even stolen, just mindlessly destroyed and graffitied. A month after that, the gates were open. Vehicles I found abandoned were repaired and removing items. I finally found the owner, but it was too late. After the vandalism, he no longer had a choice to be barred from his own property. He sold for pennies in order to be able to save his assets. But by then, he had only days to leave. The fire truck, which I was so infatuated by, ran when parked, he told me. He was going to scrap it, as he had no choice in his rushed state. He offered to sell it to me for scrap value, but I didn't have the resources to move it in time. He scrapped most of his things and moved to his second facility in Minnesota. But before he left, I was able to finally hear the full story and interview him.
So the beginning is probably 7-8 years ago. My son was down here and we wanted to expand this and put up a new shop, and he didn't get anywhere with getting permits and everything. And we jumped through the hoops and spent probably $100,000 with attorneys, and it just didn't go anywhere. Finally, I talked to a man, I believe his name was Claude, got pretty blunt with him on, what what's going on. And finally, he called back and said, this is not public knowledge, and we're going to end up eminent domaining your land. So, bottom line is, they knew it all the time that they were going to do this, and they just sat back letting us spend money and waste our time trying to get permits and everything to build a new building here. A Chinese company of all things. And then I guess they started buying up the farmland, and we didn't hear anything from them. And for some crazy reason, they left us till last to deal with us.
And here you have a bunch of hoods for trucks here. A lot of that. There's an abandoned dump truck back there. I'm gonna go here when the sun comes down though. This is so cool. I've never seen an abandoned truck yard though. Here was all like the smaller parts here. There's a radiator for a truck. Some tubing. Looks like hitches. They had a ton of stuff stored back here. Oh my gosh, there's an abandoned like dump truck there too. And here's like a gas trailer. There's so much stuff back here, guys. I actually can't believe it. There's still garbage in there too. In that abandoned garbage truck. You rarely see abandoned like trucks. You'll see cars, but very rarely do you see abandoned trucks and trailers, because all this stuff is so valuable that it gets reused. That's my 2 cents. That's my idea, at least. I'm not entirely sure. There's a whole thing back there for tires too. I'm just kind of walking on a bunch of debris. This is abandoned too. Look at this. Look at this machine, guys. That's like $1 million machine. So here's like the dump site for like the building. Bunch of scrap metal maybe. There's a door and more parts to a truck. Does it open? You gotta be kidding me. Do you know anybody else who was affected by the buyouts?
I know this Kim that helped us, and she was one of the last ones. They finally moved her home, and anyway, she ended up having a heart attack over the deal. Got so upset with it and everything. And everyone that comes in here, I've had so many people since we came in and started that stop and say, you know, this is terrible what they did to you. I mean, 100 people. This is terrible what they did to you. Yeah, if I had to do it over again, I would record every single thing.
What were some of the lies that they said?
Oh, they're gonna pay us to move our equipment. They're gonna find us another place around here. Bottom line is I think they got where they're broke. And Foxconn wasn't coming through with what they promised. And well, just because they made bad business decisions, stuff doesn't mean that I get the shaft. You know, I suppose that's why they want to steal it from me and sell it to Microsoft, because they think that they can make some money on it. Well, they're not in the real estate business. They shouldn't be in. You know, they're supposed to be working for you and me. They're government people.
Oh my gosh. There's a truck in here. Oh my gosh. No way. No way. Oh my gosh, and this machine. How has nobody explored this building yet? Oh my gosh. I'm in shock. There's a forklift here abandoned. Everything is left. There's an excavator. There's an excavator left behind. Oh my gosh.
It's a family business, 5 of us, my wife, 2 sons and a daughter. My wife is still in the secretary working with it because my son-in-law a year ago got in a farm accident and lost both his legs, which ended up throwing her back into the business. He's better, so all good kids, all hard workers. We all came out and met with them in Milwaukee, pretty much promised us that they would help pay to move or find a place similar that would work for us. Like they were gonna take care of us pretty good, you know, and that was when the line started. Well, they just totally lied to us straight up. I should have recorded everything from day one.
Do you know how much all this equipment costs? All right, there's no way I'm posting this until it's demolished. I'm keeping this a secret. Oh my gosh, this stuff. How is this left behind abandoned? It's abandoned. The tires are all flat. I cannot believe this. Oh my goodness. All this stuff. Oh my gosh, there's tools in there, isn't there? Oh my gosh. All the parts are there. Might be a part box. This is freaking insane. This can't be real. How has nobody like explored this building yet? The truck. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. This building has literally no power, nothing. Oh my gosh. This is like a newer truck. Oh my gosh. They literally left everything behind here. Oh my gosh. Unless this is stolen. What if this is stolen, guys? No. This has been sitting. This has quite literally been sitting since the building was abandoned. Oh my goodness. I can't even see in there. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's abandoned. Oh, it's open on the other side. So, I don't know what the deal with this is. There's no battery power anymore. It's straight up sitting here. There's a license plate back there. This is $1 million machinery left abandoned. Oh my gosh. I have to find the owner or something. I mean, this can't just go to waste like this. Oh my gosh. Look at all these truck tires. These itself are expensive. All this stuff. These gas canisters, which are probably full of gas. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh, there's a truck attached to it.
We got an attorney and they finally came. Dump trucks and payloaders and everything out front here. And they were all sitting in their trucks, not doing anything, sat there for about a half hour. Pretty soon the cops came, and then they got out and then they said we had to leave. So they pretty much escorted us off the property and then took the payloader and put these big cement berms in front, said we couldn't go on it anymore. So then we weren't supposed to be on here at all. And we had an attorney and we were going on with what he told us. Dan Bach is his name, and you know, like he says, you can't fight the government. You know, we came down and went to some of the meetings and stuff and plead our case and say we want to keep it and we're gonna tear this down, put up a new shop and everything, and they didn't care. They don't care. When I came down to one of the meetings, I came onto this land to see, you know, that what all was going on, and just that it was okay. Actually, it was going to put a bunch of rat poison, mice poison in the building and make sure it was locked and stuff. I believe it was this Claude, again, sent the cops here, so they must be watching it, you know, very close, and gave me a ticket for trespassing. Says I can't go on my own land because I crossed that little sliver up there by the road, and that's their land, public land. So it's public land. I mean, like I say, they're crooks. They're absolutely 100% crooks.
They kicked you off your own property.
Oh, I had to pay a ticket. Yeah, I had to pay a ticket. Yeah. Good cop. He says, I'm just doing my job. And he pretty much says these assholes are making me do this. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. Whatever.
Is someone like living in here? No, it's all dusty. Oh my gosh, guys. There is an abandoned semi-truck in here. Holy crap. It's got snow tires. gosh, I can't believe this right now. I cannot believe my eyes. Literally everything's left behind. I've never seen something like this before. How? Bro, how? Oh my gosh. Do you know how much this truck itself costs? Oh my gosh, this is huge bucks. This is big bucks, guys. Guys, remember, not to steal. You guys know what? I'm not posting this until it's gone. Just so people don't steal stuff from these places. But what a find. I hope nobody messes this place up. I pray. This is one of the coolest abandoned finds I think I've found all year. No freaking way. I'm still in shock. I can't see how this is like in use. I can't figure it out. This has been abandoned for as long as I know. Okay, let's go to the shop, or maybe the front desk, with everything still set up from the workers. This has been completely untouched since the day it closed. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. The computers are still on the desk. Everything's still left behind on the desk.
Just so you understand my actual shock, I drove by this place every week and I didn't give it a second thought. What I thought was an empty building was just gonna be maybe a 3-minute part to this video. Nobody had been here besides me since 2020.
Everything's still left. There's literally cobwebs all over these rooms, so nobody's been in here. It's completely frozen in time. I'm scared to post this. Like, I'm scared to post this anywhere because I do not want people to destroy this. This is crazy. Do you know how many people pass by this place every day? And it's just abandoned with everything left. And nobody's even bothered to check it out. Gosh, why do I have to hold on to this video now? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just enjoy this place, huh? Oh my gosh, there's more left. All the computers are still here. They closed in December 2020. That's like the last date here. Here's like the zoning. That always interests me because they might rezone it into something else. This is all just abandoned with everything left behind. Computers are dusty. Still playing cards. I mean, everything's here from when they closed. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's nice. The shoes are still here. This is an old photo of the property. So it's totally abandoned compared to what it used to look like. There's cobwebs, guys. Like, nobody's been in this building for a very long time. Look at all these business cards on the walls. This is like not real to me. Everything's all in the cupboards. I mean, I'm really gonna have to gatekeep this one. Post a short video on this. Somebody somehow is going to find a way to find this place, and I cannot let that happen. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see what tools we got here actually first. Yup, they straight up left everything. Oh my gosh. All this stuff, they just froze. All the work they were doing. You got these batteries here. Holy cannoli, guys. Everything's just left on the shelves. All their screws. Everything. This is not real. This is so rare to find.
So then I couldn't come on my property anymore, and it sat here for 3 years probably then, with not being able to come on the property. Thieves and the homeless and all the people that they don't watch came on here. They were living in here, they were destroying stuff, they stole the stuff, they sabotaged the equipment. So we come down a month and a half ago, whatever it is, to finally be able to come on here just to get our stuff and to get off. Here we find this place is wrecked. You know, it was knee deep in here with people that went through stuff, and you could tell people were living in here, and they stole anything that was valuable out in the shop and in the office. You know, you could see a regular trail going from the road back here. Apparently they didn't get a trespassing ticket. They took the fire extinguishers and blew them in our equipment and the fuel. Anyway, they probably stole $100,000 worth at least, if not more. And finally, you know, my attorney says, well, you have to, either we have to go to court, which he says we're gonna lose because I can't fight the machine, or we're gonna have to take what they offer, just go on, do your, you know, I got better things to do than try to fight these people. So we pretty much took 10 cents on the dollar. They're gonna turn around and they're gonna sell it to Microsoft and make millions. And that's even what my attorney says. We worked with the city attorney, Alan Markovitz, I believe, and we thought we had a pretty good plan on keeping this land. He gets in front of that board, and that board are absolutely ruthless. If you're not some big corporation, they don't give a shit. Do I think that they're crooks and that I got the shaft? Absolutely, 100%. My family and my business got the shaft. We were here since 1997, and we had a nice business going here. They didn't care at all. They didn't pay us anything for moving this equipment or for disrupting our business or anything. We got the shaft.
Oh, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Anyways, yeah, let's head out and see what we can find outside. So they have an entire lot here, it looks like, for, what do we have here? Just parts? We have a truck engine here. Holy crap. Well, that's probably for parts. It looks old as hell. There are so many things. Look at that. That is a semi-truck engine. That is massive. They left straight up everything. Sorry, this is just crazy to me. Who wouldn't liquidate their assets when their business gets bought up like this? I don't understand. These probably work. These probably work. Here's part of a cement truck, I think, with cement still inside. Cool. There's even more random trailers just in the back. Bunch of piles of junk here. This was pretty much an accidental find because I did not expect to be going here today. I thought that house would be enough. This was totally worth going back to. I think I see an ambulance back there. Here we got a FedEx trailer. Imagine seeing FedEx abandoned, guys. Isn't that something else? If FedEx ever goes abandoned, that would be surprising. When do you see FedEx abandoned though? That's kind of cool. Here we have an abandoned ambulance cab from the Chicago Fire Department. Oh, wow. That is really cool. Some more trailers back here too. We got another ambulance cab here, abandoned and full of junk. Oh, and there's an abandoned van. Dude, that's an ambulance. Wait, is that? Okay, these are cabs, but this is an actual abandoned ambulance here. Whoa, that's insane. Oh, why is it smashed though? Shame. I wonder what else could be back here.
How is it, even with an attorney, how is that possible that they could do that?
That's what I ask. How can they do this bullshit? Because they're the machine. Hopefully we got someone in this government now that's going to clean house on people like this that are outlaws. They're outlaws. I'm sure that they're got their pockets lined, and they made out very well, because this is a damn swamp, and right here is a freaking swamp.
Do you think there's like some something that they're not telling us?
You know, Foxconn came in and promised them 13,000 jobs or whatever, and I think they produced 1,000, and I don't even know if they have 1,000 going now. I just thought that this was gonna be so great for this area and everything. Well, apparently they didn't do their homework before they started working with Foxconn, because for number one, it's a Chinese company, and why would you trust them? And number two, why disrupt all these farmers and me? And when I started this in '97 and wanted to do this and that and whatever, they told me straight out at that time, we want to keep that farmland. We don't want that manufacturing or all this. So then they would fight me on that end. So then all of a sudden, oh, it's going to be this huge corporation, so now we don't want the little guy. We don't want the businessman in. So they just been fighting me all the time. First I couldn't, or you know, they didn't want manufacturing here because it was going to be ag. That was in '97, you know, 2000, whatever, when I was working with them. Fight and fight and fight. And then all of a sudden, well, they don't want manufacturing, they don't want any like me here, period. It's going to be some huge corporation, you know, got to be Microsoft or whatever, you know. Lucky that my family works hard enough that we can take it, you know. I mean, if we weren't hard workers like we are, we'd probably be broke over this deal.
Guys, there's a bus back here. All right, we're gonna check these cabs real quick, or whatever all this stuff is. I don't know. This is absurd. Abandoned semi-trailers. These are all probably still good. You just kind of stored parts here. Makes sense. Lockwood Dairy and Pinehurst. Dude, school bus. Looks like it was painted camo or something. Please be no wasps in here. Oh, this wasn't an accident. It says cut. Whoa. We have an abandoned school bus, everybody. Racine police. This is a police bus, guys. Explorer. Holy crap. I'm so glad I stopped by here. So we're down here over at this machine, and the sun's coming down, so we can go check out some of those trucks further up here and really show you guys what I'm talking about, because I think the lighting was pretty bad. Well, guys, here's the dump truck in all its glory. I think I show you guys this. We're gonna go more towards out here. It's funny, nobody even drives on this road because nothing leads to it. Until they build the warehouses, this road is just kind of a random road they just unnecessarily implemented. Did you know the cruisingers?
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
How does their deal compare to yours?
I really don't know what they got paid or how that all, but I know they have different zones where they could work with people different ways. You know, we would try to go to our attorney and say, well, we know that other people got paid well, why aren't we getting paid that? You know, especially we're on the frontage, you know, we're right by the interstate. This land, if I remember right, they had the pumpkin farm, is that right?
Yes.
This ought to be worth twice the money as what theirs is, at least if not more. I don't know what they got paid or if they're happy or not or whatever.
And look at this tractor! What? I've never seen something like this before. It's got all metal, steel wheels. Maybe something to flatten stuff, but it doesn't look like that because it would be completely flat. It's not a steamroller. Dude, what the heck? Dude, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That is so cool. Guys, what is this? Is this like a more modern version of this? Look at this vehicle. This is all just abandoned, untouched. North Chicago. Oh my gosh. Dude, I used to have like Hot Wheels cars of these things, man. There's another one. Look, this is from Elgin, Illinois. This is so darn cool.
Man. And here we have an RV. Another big one, kind of like inside that building. See if we can see what's in there. Oh, that one's stuck shut, but nothing really in there. Almost forgot the dump truck. They must have removed a lot of stuff, guys, so they took what they wanted, maybe. Look at that. An abandoned dump truck. Probably says the town. Look at what happened here, though. This one got destroyed. Something happened here. Big accident. Mind you guys, they still have these on the road, so all this stuff is extremely valuable. Cool little paint design there. It's a GMC diesel 7000. Looks relatively intact. Guys, if I pass by some random stuff, let me know what you guys think this stuff is, you know? I have a general idea on a lot of this stuff, but I'm probably never gonna get my hands on a truck, so I don't know too much about them. Here's that last vehicle here, though. Really interesting. Look, it didn't have a place to sleep or anything. It was just this. So, yeah. Well, anyways, that's about it. Because I've been passing this place forever, and I didn't even expect anything in there. That just goes to show, even if it doesn't seem interesting, it might be one of the coolest finds of the day. I think that really makes the video, really makes everything, huh? What a spot, guys. Is there any more tricks up your sleeve, or you think that's
Yeah, I got a trick. I got this kid that's interviewing me right now, and he's going to publicize this, and then we're going to have a big old come back to Jesus meeting, and they'll make us whole. How's that sound?
Yeah. So that's it, eh?
You know, pretty my much. Attorney says you're wasting money. You're wasting your money to try to move forward with fighting them, you know. Yeah, it would be wonderful for someone with some authority to look at this and say, these guys got screwed. Let's go back and look at this program and help them out.
Well, thank you very much.
That's it,
I guess.
Did I pass?
I think so. The main theme of this channel is documentation, not theft or bringing unwanted attention. Documenting a changing world through videography of buildings that won't exist. But sometimes I get more than that. A story that people need to hear. Giving a voice to people who feel they've been wronged. Bringing awareness to something important. I'm not here to cause trouble to anybody involved, or to have a strong agenda necessarily, but in order to understand what happened here, there's an important story to be told. Truth is, this didn't happen overnight. There were many factors involved. Warehouses were the beginning of what you see. Giant soulless buildings used for processing online products or storing them. With the growth of the internet in the 2000s, these buildings grew exponentially, both in size and in numbers. Amazon and similar companies led the way, and more soon followed, until every product company had them for online shopping. Not only were they profitable enough to build in such large sizes, but developers and corporations were willing to pay top dollar just to have easier access to major roadways to save time to ship their items out. Warehouses began to pop up along highways like nobody had ever seen before in the 2010s. A couple turns and these packages were already on their way to cities, airports, and homes in no time at all. Along the Illinois and Wisconsin border, they all grew at once, one after the other. First, it was cornfields, but when profits reached a certain point, nothing was off the table. They bought up farms, streets of homes, and even considered graveyards. So here's another example of all the warehouses they're building around Wisconsin. The amount of stuff getting torn down is insane. I mean, 5 years ago, none of this was here. This was all farms, and they're all gone. This is one of them to go. So this is a little bit further away from Foxconn, but it's still really close. The last 10 years, this land grab exploded, and in no time at all, the landscape around here became unrecognizable to what it once was. It wasn't just Mount Pleasant, but every single small town along the way to Milwaukee. It happened so fast I couldn't keep track, but I knew the epicenter, Foxconn, was the most extreme situation out of any town in the state of Wisconsin. Some companies take it upon themselves to buy homes, but there are more rules they have to follow. But a new buyer emerged to build Foxconn, and that buyer was the local government. The people in charge of improving roads and building libraries were now playing developer along with these billion-dollar corporations. Some saw it as more money to improve the city, while others saw it as a way for them to fill their own pockets. The city was now playing the game of real estate flipping. Only difference was they had the full power of the government. The taxes these homeowners paid were already being used to buy their land through eminent domain, which in theory is for the public's greater good. Instead of warehouse corporations giving homeowners a choice to sell for above market value, the local government used eminent domain to buy their land for normal value, if not less. Money would be sent to homeowners, and it didn't matter if the price was fair. It didn't matter if people didn't want the money either. The government just took it. Some took the money and ran, while others fought years-long court battles just to lose. Even after Foxconn's failure, land that to this day was never used, the government still fought tooth and nail to take every last property, even years later. But why? When the last Foxconn property sold to the city, I figured it was the end. This video could come to a close. But the story was far from over. Along the street from Foxconn, I began to find secret groups of more properties that began to be sold to the city. This time, there was no media coverage. What were they planning in secret? I discovered 2 mansions owned by the city. One was just bought out and already was about to be demolished before anybody knew.
Hey, what's up, folks? So I just came out here to interview people, and I just stumbled across another row of houses. Really nice, large houses that are going to be demolished. Look at this. This house is pretty large for being out in Wisconsin like this. Well, so this home is abandoned, guys. It's probably going to be demolished soon. But we're right outside where Microsoft is. Anyways, half the house is, a little bit of the house is hiding behind this tree, but it really is a large home, so I'm really excited. This was just like an accidental find here, folks. So you can see right here, there used to be brickwork. All that was salvaged here. But yeah, it looks like it goes up 3 stories. So I'm pretty excited. You can see it's also got these kind of weird doors, kind of like storm hurricane doors. Anyways, folks, let's check it out. Sorry, I had to readjust my light, but look at all this stuff left behind. There's a ton of stuff here. I already see some alcohol, bunch of cool little things here. Look at that old chair. Maybe not that old. And look, it looks like something you'd see in a hospital. Some kind of heart rate monitor or something. Wonder if that's worth anything. It's weird that they kind of left this inside the home. But anyways, going over into this room, there's another heart rate monitor looking thing. This is kind of just the furnace room, but anyways, there was a ton of water bottles here. It looks like they're almost preparing for something. Like maybe the apocalypse. This is all just kind of stored water. Look, there's even more back over here. More stored water. I gotta say, folks, it's already looking like a real nice house. All updated and everything. Look, over here we got a bar. Looks like this was some kind of shelf. Still got books on it. Wow. But yeah, here's like a bar they had here. It looks really cool. So it looks like my flashlight's not too good. Oh, it's all right. So yeah, folks, we got some like canned goods, whole bunch of junk just over here, really. But what a beautiful bar, huh? Look at all this stuff. A lot of money went into this bar, let me tell you. Whole bunch of random stuff here. Look at that, they got pickles. I guarantee these pickles are still probably still good. Definitely use this on the farm here. Got some more canned goods, a lot of bottles here. Gosh, this was somebody's luxury home. I mean, I'd love to have a home like this. It's probably dirt cheap too because it's Wisconsin. Wow. But yeah, this is right off the bat, looks like this house is gonna have a lot of stuff. We'll have to see later. A lot of cool things left around here. Anyways, I'm up here at the garage. Let's go downstairs. There's a second part of the downstairs here that's cut off. Definitely an addition because there's the other part of the basement, and this is like all kind of new looking. So they added this part on, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe this was like originally like a tiny farmhouse. Anyways, folks, upstairs from that, we got the kitchen. Not too impressive. Looks like it's been stripped. Real nice, you can see. They really took everything, except the tiling. So it appears the, wow, look at that. It appears the power's been shut off. And everything's kind of been salvaged that they needed. Oh, wow. You know, they might have rented some of this house out, because here's like the main kind of kitchen. Look at that, folks. That's real nice. All new materials for the most part. Newer, I should say. So yeah, 2 kitchens. So this home must have been rented. Wow. Keeps going. Look at this beautiful room. Really cool. What an amazing view of the outside here. Yeah, there's the fireplace. Pretty nice chill spot. It's definitely the family room, for sure. And here we are at the front door. We've got yet another fireplace. Another really large room. That is impressive. And then we have another staircase here. I bet that's gonna lead all the way upstairs. Let's see if we missed anything real quick. We got some other rooms here. A sink, bathroom. Largely been stripped. Look at that, they had a closet there. So this was a whole nother, I think, room, like where someone stayed at. Pretty cool. So let's head upstairs for the first time. See, look, there used to be carpet here. Looks better with the normal wood. This room's completely gutted. You got this real nice bathroom here too, huh? Newer stuff all here, all updated. This is probably gonna be gutted shortly, I would imagine. Jeez. This house just keeps going. Look at that. This is a very large room here. This would be a fun little playroom as a kid. And here we go. We're on the other side of the house now. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. My goodness. So here we go. So looks like a little library here. Look at that though. We can get a view of the outside. Wow. What a view, folks. This is true paradise. Incredible. But yeah, let's keep going. Looks like we got a couple more rooms here. I can't believe I just accidentally found this. And there's a couple other homes along here. So this is real exciting. Looks kind of the same though, all empty. Big hole in the wall, they probably took something valuable out. Sounds like something's in here. We got some big wasps in this house. Look at that, with a nice skylight. What else do you need, you know? Alright folks, it's my second day here. I decided to check out this barn here next to the house. And you will not believe what I just found inside. Guys, there's literally an abandoned Buick in the garage of this abandoned house or mansion. This is actually insane. I had no idea that all this stuff was still left behind. I just figured it would be empty, but it's not. There's an abandoned Buick. This thing's really beautiful. And it's like been sitting here. It's got, the tires are not that flat, but it looks like it's been sitting for a long time. There's like so much junk in here. And it looks like it's been sitting for a while because there's like, just like the roof and everything, it's in such bad shape. So I don't know the deal with this. But somehow there's an abandoned Buick here. That's like a nice car too, man. What the heck? It appears to be locked. It's a Mark 7 or something. I don't know. Look at that. It was last registered in 2018, so there we go. That's when this car was last used on the road. But it's freaking beautiful. Looks like somebody wiped the dust on here. I wonder if this opens. Oh, sweet, it opens. Here's the interior of it. Real classic kind of look here. What a beautiful car, though. I don't know, man. This is just so cool. Like, these accidental finds. I would not have expected this car to just be at this mansion here. but here it is. All right, folks, I removed the stuff off the car so you can get a better view of it. What a beautiful piece of American engineering here. They don't make them like they used to. Man, I would love to save this thing. That's just a 2-door right there. 2 doors. Probably worth some more money than your average one. It's just sitting in this abandoned Wisconsin barn. Probably going to be demolished. The car as well will probably be demolished. Just scrapped away. Forgotten forever. But I'm glad I got to see this while I still could.
Only weeks later, this home was demolished. I think older people may have lived here due to the size of the home. However, there was another home next door that was also owned by the city that wasn't demolished. Guys, I don't know if I'll miss this one or not. This house has had power for a very long time, and the city's just using it to keep cars here and do training. So I don't know if I'm gonna wait till the power gets shut off and they're about to demolish this to explore this place, but pretty cool house. Really don't know if I'll miss it, like I said, so that's why I'm filming it now. If we film it, we film it. If we don't, we don't. It sat vacant for a year before being turned into a temporary fire training facility, which scared me off. In the end, it just kind of stayed there, and I never decided to do any further documentation due to its activity. These 2 properties totaling to the size of a warehouse just sat. But why? Well, the local government wasn't done. After the Cruisinger family had successfully beat the city's use of eminent domain, Microsoft went ahead and made a much better deal. A deal probably $75 million more than eminent domain would have ever paid. The city, in reality, used eminent domain to likely turn a profit on people's land. They were the middleman, when, if you look at the Cruisinger situation, never needed them to begin with. Nobody ever needed them. And their plan seemed like a failure all around. But then, of course, AI came about, and suddenly, all of that unused land finally made the village a profit. I'm sure these 2 homes were bought for the same reason. Once again, profit on future development for the city. Which means with time we may see another situation like Foxconn all over again, and the destruction of the rest of the farms, as far as the eye can see. Or maybe they learned from the bad press. Microsoft Corp wasn't done buying farmland. They had their foot in the door in Mount Pleasant, and they didn't need the city to do the dirty work. Bill Gates had built the most powerful data center the world had ever seen, and there was no going back now. A year later, homes began to be boarded up on the next street up from Microsoft's first facility. From one side of the street all the way through the cornfields to the next and past that. Only this time, it wasn't the government using its power to buy these homes. It was Microsoft itself. What truly transpired is unknown, as the homeowners likely had to sign an NDA, but I did speak with some residents before they left. The number of data centers was last said to be 15, but even that wasn't the end of it. This was just the beginning of a story that may never end.
So here we're at this first house. It's been abandoned for 3 years.
This entire street was bought out on both sides for new data centers. Consisting of 8 homes, the scene was apocalyptic. This home was long abandoned. The owner was a trust before selling it to Microsoft. Perhaps they left it after the owner passed, as they knew what was coming. Behind it, the farmland all the way to the next street was bought out as well, consisting of 3 more homes.
So yeah, 3 years this hasn't been lived in. Kind of a smaller home, looks like, judging by those rocks, like a 70s house. But all dusty and cobwebs. The guy, I don't think he died, although this land was owned by trustees. One of the last neighbors here told me that this guy would be seen releasing skunks every now and then into the wild out here. But he just left this home abandoned and eventually sold it to Microsoft. But there were just cobwebs everywhere here. Cool kitchen. I believe now this was one of the first homes boarded up that I could see. But now it's really getting bad. They shut off the power and I'm sure the basement's completely flooded. So yeah, not much to see, a little bit of a smaller home. Maybe we'll check the basement real quick.
Actually went here a month ago. I don't think it was flooded. So this happened. No, I've never been down here actually. Yeah, well, they did leave a couple things behind. They had a cool bar. But yeah, this is getting moldy, real moldy. And it happened quick, it looks like. That is a cool kind of alpine theme. That was this house. Now next to this house is another house. It's red. The next house appears to have been more recently abandoned with the power on. Most of these homes were recently abandoned. One even had everything left. This one cluster of homes I didn't explore until much later. 2 months before, the owner of this mansion left. The home next to it was still occupied at the time. The farmer, an older man, stayed until September to find a new home. So here's this one. It was definitely upkept until recently. So we got this old lawnmower in the corner and just a kind of bunch of junk. They had a nice backyard. Looks like they had target practice. That's a real old tree. Here you can see like another lawnmower here. And obviously this pavement here must have been put pretty recently. And back there you can see even more abandoned farms. This whole street is pretty much abandoned now. There we have a name, Bella's room. Another very similar sized house here. So it appears to me this house is being gutted. So at least they're saving some items, although this could have been here from before it was being gutted. The owners themselves could have been taking out some things. But you can see the paint is all brand new. Let's take a look downstairs real quick. There's a couple tables and chairs, actually some very old chairs back there. I don't know what that is, but check this out. You can't tell, but it's flooded too. So here's this house. It's a little small. And they got this big warehouse here, but I'm sure they owned all this farmland back here at one point. Cute little house. Definitely was recently renovated, judging by the siding. There's also one right up there. So right as you walk in the door, you can tell the paint's nice. Looks like it hasn't flooded though. Well, here's the basement. It definitely smells moldy now. This is definitely like an older farmhouse. It was probably here before those other two homes. Maybe. Pretty big basement though. Kitchen. And then here's the living room. Pretty cozy house. Cool little chandelier they got there. Here would have been the bedrooms. Here's the bathroom. Pretty nice. So apparently the guy who lived here died a year ago. A lot of people died a year ago on this street, so I was told. And they all snatched up these homes. Now they were probably old farmers, so that makes sense, I guess. Quite sad to see such a place go, especially I could, use one of these sheds. Really nice. Perfectly good house though, nothing wrong with it, and it's gonna be demolished. Now we got this farm right here as well, so we'll go take a look at that. This home and the next home had been on my radar for a long time. They were the closest to industrial development. Originally I figured they'd be picked off one by one. The red house recently had an addition, but it was no matter how nice these homes were. They'd all soon be gone. Here's the outside of this one. Really cool house. Looks like it's got an upstairs, and this was like an addition, this garage part. Beautiful home. I drove by here wondering if it would go abandoned, and sure enough, it has been, which is pretty wild. I literally just imagined this going abandoned, and it went abandoned. It's funny, they always forget to close the garages because they take out the mechanisms. They sell whatever's up here, and the garages are just unlocked. But this house is pretty big. I was actually surprised. It looks like it's got a lot of additions. I mean, this is a 4-car garage. Pretty wild if you ask me. Now this one, they recently shut the power off. I know because I drove by here and the lights were all on at night, but it looks like they cut the power lines just now. But here's like a really big room here. Cool fireplace. A new front door. I mean, this was originally probably a farmhouse and they added on to it. There's the basement. You can see it's just starting to flood. Not fully flooded yet though. This is the original foundation though that we're at right now. Looks like underneath there is the new foundation that they built. But anyways, we're entering the farmhouse part. Look at that, newer kitchen. Probably this was added in the 2000s by the looks of it. Here's, I believe, maybe the bedrooms. Wait, there's no upstairs? It's weird, this home's layout, it's supposed to have an upstairs. I don't see any though. Now we're beginning to go off the street and kind of parking at warehouses here. The abandoned houses kind of wrap around this field here. This forest contains 2 houses. Here's one of them you can see. This one's really hidden from the road. So it was like a driveway, but it had 2 homes. This one looks pretty cool. But unfortunately, you have a view right of just warehouses. And it once was farmland. Side note, what the heck are they making at this warehouse? That's like straight up a rocket. What in the world? Weird. Now over here, this home got very recently boarded up. I would say very recently. They've all been boarded for a couple weeks now, but these people look like they left a little more recently. Now, look at that 3-car garage. I actually came here a year ago because they were selling something, but it looked like nobody was actually home. In fact, the home looked abandoned even back then. I didn't know this home would also get bought out, but I thought it was inevitable since it was so close to these warehouses. So here you can see some birds have made home at this house. Their nest is going to be destroyed. I see this a lot. Animals like immediately move into these abandoned homes as soon as they go abandoned, and then well, they don't know what's coming. Here's their septic tank. It looks like it hasn't been dug up, but there has been like some work there. But they always dig these up. They always do. Like building over here, you got an excavator. You might fall straight through the ground, so they always make sure to dig them up. At least that's what I think. But yeah, new materials going to waste. So there's the freeway directly to here. They actually made a frontage road for this house. But I didn't know this until recently. There's another home hidden back here, and I didn't notice until they boarded it up. So here's the home that can be seen from that warehouse building. I thought this was just a shed looking at satellite images, but it's a whole nother house. I don't know if the owners of this farm built this home or not for family, but it certainly looks newer, at least the driveway here. These 2 homes were essentially on the same property. They were the first homes on a different street. A warehouse had already separated them from the rest of the other homes. Right in the backyard of this home, seemingly of a family, was this warehouse, forever obstructing their view. It's no wonder they sold. Look at that with the warehouse in the background. Stark contrast right there of what's happening. It appears here was their septic tank, maybe. Or something was here, a shed maybe. Here's another view of this home. A really cute house, overlooking kind of this view. You can even see the abandoned homes back there on that street, which is, it's pretty wild. There's even homes over by that water tower getting bought up currently. There were 2. One I filmed, one is being used by fire department. But here we have kind of the front of the house. You can see it a little better. We have like a family name here on a stump. 1985 it looks like. I believe that stump was actually outside that old farmhouse, so must have been owned by the same family. This is actually an awesome house. A lot bigger than I thought, but there must have been smokers. Look at that. They had paintings here. They removed everything. The ceiling. Could have rented this home out, for all I know. Looks like it was built around the 70s, maybe 60s. This kitchen hasn't changed much. Kind of looks like a rental, if you ask me. Love that skylight though, but you could definitely tell 60s or 70s house. Coca-Cola. Nice bathroom here. And there's this kind of trippy wallpaper. Let's see, here's the garage. Ooh, it's hot in here. I don't see much in here though. Cobweb, so it's been here a while. Actually, this opens as well, by the way. Now, check downstairs real quick. This house is really gross, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, look at that, that's cool. Yeah, they even took like the piping. So that's how you know the families here were allowed to take the copper, I guess. They must have grown some canned foods here as well. I don't know why, but it feels like whoever lived here were like trippy people or something, you know what I mean? There's all these weird things on the basement wall. They also definitely had some kind of workshop here. I seen a lot of birdhouses around this home. You can just tell they were making something. It looks like pottery right there. Let's take a look at their backyard. I'm kind of curious like what they would see if they had a pool. I think they had a pool. Oh wow. Big deck. Oh yeah, there was a pool here. Yep. I seen that pool actually. They took it out recently. So when this home was abandoned, some people salvaged the pool. I guess that's pretty good. Didn't go to waste. But nice deck here too, I gotta say. Well, also interesting thing to note, they had some sort of shed here as well, or a garage, and they removed that. But you can see right here, there's still the handprints of the family. Likely a younger person and an older person, or maybe two teenagers, I don't know. It's just gonna be gone forever now. So here's this farmhouse. Still got pretty much a lot of the original wallpaper. It appears they did make this place pretty nice. Look, they even left the keys for the house. Here we have a pretty wide open room at the front, and through the front door they boarded up this entire sunroom. I guess it wasn't abandoned recently or a long time ago. It looks like this stuff is new. This was full of boxes though when I drove by, probably because they were moving out. But here's the upstairs, looks slightly unboarded, so hopefully we don't have to use our light. So this is that one window you could see. And this is actually a very nice house. Big wide open space right here. You can see that goes on to here. This camera really isn't wide angle, so it's a bit hard to tell, but there you kind of go. Really cool. They had like a skylight there. I always love those, especially when the place gets boarded up. Really hard to see. They also have some of these on the floor. Probably they're using these as like stools or something for salvaging the materials, but this home is completely empty. No food this morning, just coffee. Nearly passed out after that last one. It's getting hotter out here, and it's not just the weather changing. I guarantee there's been so much pavement put down here within the last 5 years that it increases the heat in this area. I mean, just out where the farms are at, I mean, it's all right, but then you kind of get towards the warehouses. You know, a couple miles down, it's a lot cooler than just over here. It's kind of absurd. So many buildings, so much concrete. That's what happens to an area when you overbuild. It gets warmer. Here's a home where I believe somebody passed away here as well. Regardless, maybe they didn't, but they left everything behind. And this is now on the opposite side of the street in this square of land here. It's just a lonely house. Look at this. Shit, all the garage doors just open. It's useless to board it up, but this house is wild. There is a lot left behind here. This was some guy's like workshop. We got a bunch of like just tools and screws and stuff like that here. Now it appears this place has been sitting for quite some time. It's just like falling apart. You can see the insulation in that garage. It was just falling, but there's so much stuff here. It's pretty wild. This is like their laundry room probably. And here's the way upstairs.
So this home was abandoned in September by the looks of it. And here's the kitchen with everything left. I mean, literally everything. We still got all the plates, the cups, even the used food. It's still in the sink there, or the unwashed plates, sorry. Everything's been left strangely. Got an older kind of stove there. Just a whole bunch of stuff. This is really wild. You could see the mold though. I mean, it was bad. This house must have been in bad shape. We even have a safe right here. I don't know if it opens or someone tried to get it open. But here's another date that says September. There's some personal stuff. A bunch of really cool things left behind. But look at this, the furniture's all left. I wonder where they went. Maybe they're old or something? Older. But what's cool, look at this. That's what the house used to look like back in the day. Isn't that wild? Oh, they even had their own pond. It's definitely like a 70s or 60s house as well. I've seen these in my old neighborhood. Just the kind of setup and layout. Probably would kind of watch this field over back here. I mean, this is just all kind of his land. It's pretty wild. But we got like old photos here. This guy might have liked trucks. But very odd how just everything's still here. This kind of goes to the front door down here. See, that plant has died just from not getting any more sunlight. This might have been how they lived, or they were just stacking stuff that they didn't need and they just put it all in this room. What's crazy though is that there's just so much history here about this home. 1962. This is probably for their business, maybe record keeping, but 1962, I don't think you'd keep it after that long. So much history just everywhere. Every box, it's probably got some history. Look at that. Very cool watch as well. What is that, a belt buckle? Another watch. But this must have been the guy. Maybe his wife. You can see photos. It looks like the same lady and the same guy there. There's even some personal stuff. Just been left here. Here's one of the bathrooms, and this is why I think like somebody went through all this, because this is the shower. Somebody went through and took what they needed, and they didn't need the rest. But that was a lot of stuff they didn't need. So here is one of the bedrooms. Now this is actually not bad. But it looks like they cleaned stuff out. You know, stuff used to be on the ground here. But that is just eerie. The fact that there's even the beds left behind. The furniture. Even the clothing, it looks like. What? All the clothes. Guys, all the clothes are still left behind here. More just letters. Here's the their old alarm clock. Really cool, actually. That is dated, but I really like this. Never seen one of those.
Here we have like another bedroom, maybe a storage room. This is full to the ceiling, but maybe they just, like I said, didn't need some of this stuff. This stuff dates back to probably when the house was first built. Some of these things, like these toys, definitely from like the 80s or something like that. A match collection. You had a huge match collection. Look at that, guys. These are Legos from the 90s or 80s. You could tell because, well, my dad used to have these. The glass is kind of faded. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably right. These are expensive now. You might have been a collector of these vintage trucks. That's so cool. It's sad. I mean, yeah, this is old. Like, not, you know, you guys probably don't like me saying that, but, you know, before I was born, 80s or 70s toy, it looks like. Nylent. Used to collect these myself. To think, this is all going to waste. Vintage roller skates. Vintage toys. Probably unopened. Oh my gosh. And I can't steal anything either, I mean, unless I have permission. It's just against my morals. I mean, it's just letter after, well, those aren't letters. I mean, it's just letter after letter of this family or this guy being talked to by somebody probably. And just to think what else could be under this. What history, what possibly valuable or useful items could be under here. And this was actually a bed, believe it or not. It's like someone came here, threw all these boxes on here recently, but who knows. Oh, what do we have here? Vintage magazines. Look at that, eh? 1976. Gosh, that makes me sad. Well, gosh, guys, there's nothing really I can do about it. This is just the reality, and this doesn't get filmed a lot. This definitely happens all the time as well. But nothing I can do about it. Now this is a message to the powers that be. In one way or another, people are going to know about this, and I think a lot of this was on the news. So I'm not really exposing this. I'm simply here to document these homes before they're gone forever and tell the story about what used to be here. Whether it be new houses or old houses, this is history and it should be remembered. This is simply something that's going on that should be heard. But this beautiful land, it's going to be gone forever, and there should be a record of it being there in the first place. I have nothing against you. People just need to see. And with the way you guys are moving, there's absolutely no way I or anybody else can do anything about it. So really, am I making that much of a difference? Who knows? All I'm doing is really showing the world what used to be here. This lone home sat on the very opposite side of the field from the abandoned street. It's once again likely the owner passed away or was too old to move his stuff. He seemed like he wanted privacy, as this home was down a long driveway into the woods. Through the forest was another farm that actually didn't sell. Remember the first home that I said had a military truck? It was another Cruisinger-owned farm, lived in, but by tenants. Maybe they were playing the long game again. It appears once upon a time the land was connected, but the old farm they had was demolished for a new roadway, which is when you can see the new home being built. That was demolished 25 years later. Another weird spot was created for this neighborhood of 11 homes who are all facing Microsoft's soon-to-be data center. They think they will be bought out too one day, perhaps as an act of mercy, because their land really has no value with the road being there, unless they remove the road itself. Another year went by, and the last man on this abandoned street living in this cluster had vacated his home long ago now. But somebody else was watching. But soon, the homes began preparation to be torn down. It was now or never before Bill Gates' data center would soon be taking shape. But it was around the same time, like clockwork, that another street of homes was bought out. But before that, what remained in the last homes? Alright guys, this video is coming to an end. I really thought they would tear down these houses, but I guess they haven't.
These ones I didn't film yet because they're still closed. Like I was waiting for them to be open, but every time I come by here, they're always just like locked. So I'm just probably just gonna film the outside, but there's a cool mansion up there. So last time I checked, the power's on. I don't know if it still works here, but yeah, these are all locked up. I don't know when they're gonna tear them down, but they're still here. So kind of want to show you the outside at least, you know, just for documentary purposes. I guess I'm doing this. Power's still on, yeah. So I don't know why these have been sitting for so long. Beautiful backyard and stuff. There's also this house right here. Yeah, so there's this one. Power's still on here. I don't know why these are just sitting. It's strange. But yeah, these have been sitting for a whole year. What do we got here? A little sign or something. We're here to work on your electric meter. So it's a bit unfortunate, like I wish, oh my gosh, wow, check this out, hold on. So there was a huge storm. This is dangerous. So a tree fell on the power line. So if we touch this, we probably get zapped, probably die. Yeah, literally a tree fell on the power line here. That's a hazard. But yeah, that's this house. Then we got this mansion up here. But anyways, basically, so I really would like to film every house because I always say in my neighborhood videos that you never know what you might find. Like any of these houses could be completely frozen in time, full of stuff. I mean, you never know. It'd be really interesting to see. Unfortunately, guys, I mean, that's just, sometimes you can't get all the houses, and I got to get this video out. It's been so long now. But here is this really cool property. This is one of the biggest houses in this buyout. They got a bunch of buildings, pretty modern. This property, I believe, was built in 2008, if I'm not wrong. New driveway and everything. It's pretty cool. So there's a camera right there. So I don't know. I seen that and I kind of got sketched out, but we'll walk around the other side. Here's the back, and we'll go to the front too of this house. But yeah, so I actually talked to the lady that lived here. Power's off, so there were cameras all over this house. Talked to the lady that lived here, and supposed to get a bunch of stuff, but she just left. Curious if this garage door opens. Oh my gosh, it opens. I was waiting to explore this house. It's actually open here too. Should have brought my flashlight. Did not expect to be inside here. I'm so happy that I am. All right, I got my phone light here. So yeah, guys, this house was built in 2008. So the lady that lived here salvaged it pretty good. But look how nice it is inside here, folks. Oh wow, this is the one room I saw. Oh wow, it's so cool being here. I didn't think I'd get in. But yeah, so I was talking to the lady right at the front door here. She said I could pick up some stuff, but yeah, she left in a week, and yeah, I was never able to get anything. She left in, I think, August. Such a beautiful home, guys. I mean, all this new material just gone to waste. It's gonna be demolished. This is probably where they had a kitchen, maybe. Those are the smoke alarms, by the way. This is a really cool big house. I don't know if this was from before or the workers just started doing this, but this house is like taken apart. There's mold in here. It's been sitting for quite some time. This is so cool. I'm finally in here. This is such a cool house. Yeah, it's been sitting. It's been sitting a while. Crazy. I saw this was lived in, and now it's just abandoned. I've always wanted to check this out. Grandkids welcome. It's probably the little kid's room, maybe. I guess the lady here was a grandmother. She seemed kind of younger. Cool bathroom. Obviously, there's not going to be much in here, so... But happy I got to see this. Stuff's expensive. They tried saving this stuff, but I guess people didn't buy a lot of it. What they got going on there with this big plank? Oh, that's part of this. Well, we got inside this one. Awesome. I also forgot, guys, there is a basement. It's flooded. Yeah. So, look at all that mold, guys. All that black stuff's mold, so... There's no way to really see in here. It must have been cool, though. Well, that's it for this house. So, actually, looks like this is just open, too. I don't know if that was done by somebody else or the workers, but... We didn't even really check out the front. Let's do that real quick. I suppose we kind of did. Here's the front, though. Pretty wild. Eerie to just see a house like this abandoned. Beautiful property. And this is all getting demolished, guys. I don't think they're saving much. Our last house here is this one. It's probably locked too, I don't know. But this house here was abandoned in September. Maybe this door opens because look, the board's off, but I met the guy that lived here. He was the last person to leave on this whole kind of neighborhood. He was an old guy, so found a new house. Okay, cool, it's open. He sold his garage door, that's why there's a big board here. Let's turn on the lights. Okay, got my phone light with me. Oh, nice little room. And then this leads to the main house. Yeah, this is all salvaged. I think a lot of the people that left everything just died before it sold. I mean, this guy was kicking, you know, so he had time to get rid of everything from his house. But ain't much in here. There is a basement. There's the basement. Ain't nothing in there though. All I wanted to explore was this one mansion here, and we were successful. So I'm very happy that we did. I guess that turns this video into a close of a documentary I've been working on for a long time. It's finally coming to an end.
Well, at least this video was coming to an end, not the buyouts. Months before, I had come to find that another street of homes had been bought by Bill Gates. The homes were purchased 20 minutes away in another town after the town of Caledonia rejected Microsoft's proposal there. It was another area slowly being eaten up by industry. It started with 3 homes, then recently 4, and with time, many more.
Hey, what's up, folks? So I don't know how long I can wait because they keep buying up new houses all the time. So, I mean, I've been doing this documentary for years now. You know, I was going to wait till things finally came to an end, but it just keeps happening. I don't know what else to say. I wanted to film as many houses as I could and continue the story, but at some point, you got to drop something, you know? I know this video is going to do really well, so I do want to get this out, and I just, you know, people are going to start figuring out about this. I met up with Tommy G, so anyways, Microsoft bought another group of houses, and it was actually the town below. So I don't know what the heck is going on, but we had 3 houses bought, and then another whole farm next to that just recently got bought. These houses have been sitting abandoned for around a year. But anyways, I've been checking these places. It looks like 2 are open, but I don't know if the other ones are. One just recently got bought out like a month or 2 ago. So I doubt that one's going to be open because it looks all boarded, but I guess we'll find out. There's one ranch house we're going to check out right now. It is open,
But I just took a quick peek inside. I didn't really look inside, so today we're gonna actually look inside. It is windy, so I'm not gonna talk very much. Anyways, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but here's the house. This one looked like the coolest because it's the most modern, even though this is like a 70s house. So here we are inside now. Holy wind, guys. This place is literally falling apart. Oh, it's so bad out. Well, anyways, look, they left some tools behind. Yeah, these guys must have left at least half a year ago to a year ago. And there's some stuff here. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, it's like a tornado, guys. Now we're inside the main kind of part. Actually looks pretty empty, but it's really nice. Look how nice this house is. We got some cool 70s features here. It looks like they had an estate sale. They're trying to sell that for $100. There's some furniture. Gosh, this is a pretty neat house. It's like a time capsule from when it was first built. $150, bro. I'm not buying that. Yeah, it's all boarded up though. It's kind of big actually. Quite a few rooms. Ooh, I almost fell. The lighting's pretty bad here. We got a couch and this really cool fireplace and some more furniture. Oh wow, this is like 2 rooms kind of. Oh, that's pretty cool. This is like a pristine house. It's still very nice inside. I think the power shut off though. I couldn't tell you. I actually really like this house. Oh, there's more rooms. Look at this, guys. Yeah, so appears this one's a bit empty. These were just the bedrooms. I'm actually walking through cobwebs here. Oh, it's all in my face. So this has been abandoned for some time. That is pretty neat. So this is everything except there is a basement. Let's see. Look at that, an old TV. Might have been older folks living here, who knows? This is so like, you know, 60s, 70s. They tore this whole thing apart for copper, I think. We got a bed. Second bed. And just some kind of random other things. We do have this one last room here, which actually appears to have a decent amount of stuff left. But these are all just the things that the former owners didn't need. Well, look at that, folks. So these people all look different, but that's the family, perhaps, that lived here. Definitely seems like an older person's home. So I filmed that one house of this whole separate street, but I didn't show you the other ones because I got stuck in the mud. But here's the rest of the homes. I don't know. I know this one actually I checked inside. The basement's open. But this is like an old farm. And I actually think it was abandoned before. So it must have sold to the developers after the owners died or something. This barn house, we don't have the time to check these out anymore. There's actually a second house on this property. It's a lot older. Garage and stuff. But yeah, so let's just go inside here real quick. There's two other houses we're gonna check out. It's getting late, so this one I did check out. Carefully, don't slip, dude. So this one actually had a decent amount of stuff left. It's even collapsed, so I think it was like abandoned before. Look at that. That's pretty dangerous. Like this whole house is gonna collapse in on itself. Here's the basement. I checked there. There's like a little crawl space, nothing in there, but the upstairs is kind of cool. So you can see how long it's been decayed. I think it's even falling in on itself a little. But there's a lot left in here, like all the documents and stuff.
Here's a 77 assembly bill from the state of Wisconsin. And like, there's just a whole lot of, look at that, Chicago Tribune, 1993. So I think the owner must have passed away, and they sold this to the developers. There's a ton of stuff in here. So they were clearing this out a bit, but they didn't do a good job. You'll see this one room full of everything. Look at all this stuff. We got printers, and I don't know what the point of that was. Was this house collapsing and they wanted to, I don't know. A lot of older stuff here for sure. They definitely had an estate sale, as you can see. Old chair, some old clock. But yeah, I don't got the time because the day's about to end. We got a couple more spots, so we'll do a quick run through of this house. This one, the floor is like bowing. There's the upstairs. Then there's this room here. I just heard a creak, a little spooky. I wonder if this guy was from Chicago or not. Look, we got a snowboard there. I don't know when this was abandoned. There's a lot of older stuff in here. Nothing terribly interesting antique-wise, though. Like, there's some old, you know, those are definitely older, but not really detailed. This is kind of cool, though. And then we'll go upstairs real quick. So here's the upstairs. It's just like your old little farmhouse. So that was probably the bedroom. Another room. And then, watch your step here. 2 more rooms. Big bags of insulation. Nothing much to see here. So we saw that. There's this other house on the property. Looks a lot older. Could even be historic. It's got a giant tarp over it. I wonder what's up with that. Probably the old owner's trying to keep it nice. There's the front. It's so pretty out, guys. Wow. But yeah, I don't think this one's accessible. They even boarded this thing up. Yeah, forget about it. So there's this one house on the corner here. This one looks real old. It's even, oh, that's a really cool B-roll shot right there. But yeah, it's got some mail there. It's just stacked up. Wonder how old this one is. Looks actually quite big. I'm gonna assume we can't get inside this one, but you never know. Actually looks really big inside. Huh. Looks small, but it's probably got 3 floors to it. This one's got to be boarded out. Oh, it's open. All right. I think it's open. Let's see. All right, we got to be quick with this one, dude. So people can see us. Wow. It's pretty nice in this house. Let's be real quick here. It, in fact, is bigger. Okay. It's a cool kitchen. There's the basement, and here's the upstairs. Oh, the lights are still working, guys. Power's still on. Wow. Yeah, this one's got nothing in there. Sun's just about to set, or it's about to get dark, and we got the last house here. Big old property. This just sold. Let's check it out real quick. Alright folks, so last time I came here, this was lived in and now it's abandoned. There's a sign saying sold. So it sold to Microsoft as well. But this one was just vacated, it looks like. Kind of cool. I highly doubt we'll get inside this one. Looks like they just boarded it up. So there's like new cameras on here. So yeah, right there you see. But I just want to document this. I mean, it's a quick look. Power's definitely on, so. Wonder if that house down there is gonna eventually sell across the street. Who knows? But yeah, look, they had this little cute guest house as well. I also wonder if they're gonna take that one. Yeah, that's about it here. Well, it was about my time to end this never-ending story. Like clockwork, I always finish major videos like this the day before I'm about to go on a trip. I probably wasted thousands driving back and forth to this state, and I'd prefer not to waste more. But let it be known, this is the end of my investigations. Thanks for watching.